All right, guys, we do be back once again. This is the third time I've had to record this because my computer crashing. So, yeah, so round 13 review, 21-44 the score. Not bad of a week considering it's the buys, but this is by far the easiest of the bye weeks. Most of the bad scores just came from people holding people throughout this week. Oliver, a couple of the Gold Coast guys and everything like that. And maybe you just got a guy suspended. Most people will have that now with Sicily, which I think is absolutely ludicrous that he's going to cop a couple of weeks for what was a normal tackle. But yeah, Dacos, I thought I have to go through all of this again. Dacos was fine. It was a good game all around. I thought Melbourne put up a good performance. Collingwood's put up a good performance. The fourth quarter was really the part that I watched. I thought it was really good. I thought Collingwood were going to come back, but finally they lost a close game, which I'm happy about. There was the weird part of the game was that the Supercoach scoring was pretty low all around, so there was heaps to go around at the end of the game. That probably did help Dacos, plus a late goal. But yeah, it was all right. I don't think anyone had him captain or anything like that, so it was all good. Dawson, 95. This was the Tex Walker game, so I'll give him a pass on this one. Most of the points in the midfield went to Laird, and then everything else went to Tex, who had 208 or 209, something like that. He had 10 goals. Bailey Dale, he's the guy who I traded in this week. I didn't go with Sinclair, which did end up being a fault, but the logic behind it was Dale's recent scoring is better than Sinclair's recent scoring. And I don't really like how Sinclair's really been up and down this year. Like, he's had 160 games and then also like 60 games. You could say the same with Dale. Like, that whole stretch I just showed here was terrible. But Ed Richards is out now, and I'm guessing he's out for the majority of the season. And yeah, it was cheap, 520k. Has all the kick-ins that you want. Plays in a team that kicks it around the back a fair bit. Don't mind it here. I think the major issue for him, and it has been for Dogs defenders for a long time, is most of the points go to the midfield. So hopefully you can scratch out, maybe 100 average, something like that. I'll be fine. I already got problems everywhere else. I don't think this is the biggest problem. Sheasel, I think he was okay on the weekend. There was large portions of the game where he'd do nothing, and then he'd come alive, and within 5 minutes he'd have like 30 points. So, this anywhere between should have been a 50 and should have been a 120. Anywhere between there. Chincotta was okay. Didn't really catch much of it. I thought Carlton are just embarrassing, and I didn't really want to watch it. I don't know. He was on 30 when I turned it on, and by the time I turned it off, he was on 52. So, yeah, better than nothing. Reset his break even, kind of, I guess, down to 26. If he can't hit that, then all hope's lost, right? I don't think he'll get dropped. I don't think he's their issue. I think the midfield is their issue, to be quite honest with you. I think guys like Cripps are injured and not tackling, and that's the problem. Your forwards can't play together. They've both got massive egos. I think that's the issue. I don't think it's the coach. But yeah, Seamus Mitchell, he was also all right. I did catch most of this game. I thought this was a fun game to watch, as are most like upsets, I guess. But it's incredible, this Brisbane phenomenon of they can't play at the MCG. It's so mental, and like it's insane. Daniel Rich has played like 25 games at the MCG, and he's only won 3 in his career. And he's about to retire soon. Insane. But yeah, Seamus Mitchell's all right. I didn't see too much of him, which is both good and bad. If he's one of those players that just gets points for, doing stuff that's not big, That's pretty good to see. But then also it means that there's going to be flashes of the game where he goes missing, which isn't too good. Only has to play. I think I have to keep him for round 15 just because of how light I am that round. I think I still have 18 here, but it's like the dodgiest 18 you've ever seen. We'll see how it goes. Then onto the midfield. Bont, I thought was pretty good. Did fall off in the second half, I think. And that was kind of like reflective of the game. It was competitive for about 2.5 quarters. And then Port just kind of turned it up and Dogs couldn't respond. Laird 156. This looked like a 200 from him if it wasn't a text 200. So, yeah, it was one way or the other. I'm surprised Keys even got 100 points out of it because of the kind of like distribution of points. Merritt, I think he was okay. Like once they released the tag on him, he kind of moved up the forward line a little bit, kicked a goal. He did kick a goal, didn't he? Or am I like adding stuff to the game? Yeah, he did kick the goal. Yeah, it was kind of just the Ed Kerno tag kept him low, which I guess saved me because I would have captained him and whatever. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I did it anyway. I captained the player I brought in. So it was between Brayshaw and Warner. I think Warner did beat him out this week for the mid-premium trade-in. Let me have a quick look. 107. All right, so I did break even on the midfield, but then I lost 60 points. What did Sinclair actually end on? I think it was 135, wasn't it? 125. Okay, so it's at 30 points lost. Not the worst. But yeah, I thought Brayshaw was all right. The conditions in that game were horrendous. There were parts of the game that you couldn't... It looked foggy, like the camera I couldn't see throughout the game. Yeah, terrible game, but it is what it is. Their Freo schedule does kind of look pretty promising for Supercoach, at least. GWS aren't hard to score against. He's had big games against Essendon before. Dogs are a bit tough, but yeah, it's not the worst schedule ever. Then Neil, I think Neil's been up and down kind of all year, to be honest with you. Next year, there's going to be a bit of talking around, like, do you want Neil or do you want just Dunkley and then only go with him of the Brisbane mids? I think Neil is still a Brownlow level player. It's just he gets so much attention put into him that he can't put up the Supercoach numbers he used to. He used to be like a 150 machine. Look, 187, that was just last year. Yeah, I think he's okay. Tom Green at... Where did they play? They played in Tassie this week. Not a good game from him. So he did get tagged by Shields, which I thought was interesting, and it was the correct play for North. North still did lose the game, but it was like the correct game plan to go into it. He's kind of dropped off at the second half of the year. We're not even really in the second half yet. We're going into the second half. Not a great last 3 games. Maybe next year he's someone... next year I wouldn't even worry about him because he's going to be too expensive. Will Day really needed this game. He needed one of his big scores. It's reset the break-even. 68, that's hittable for him, surely. Now he's on the bye. You could trade him, but I think the way I'll be using him is he'll be my D6 that can sub on for maybe an M8. I don't think so. I'm hoping to have a better M8 that I don't have to do that. And then I can work him in D6 with Himmelberg or maybe Taron Thomas. I'm not too sure on that one. There's a lot that's not even football related that goes on with Taron Thomas. But yeah, I know there's plans with Will Day. You could keep him, you could trade him. It's up to you. And then Ben Keys, I did kind of speak about him before, but he was really good this week. The centre bounce numbers weren't as high as last week. I think he was running at 70% efficiency, 70% CBAs last week. I didn't think that was going to keep up anyway. I thought it was going to drop down to around the 60s. Dropped a bit further to 55, but that was like the gap between, he was number 3 of Adelaide, and the gap between 3 and 4 was like him at 55, then the next one was like 24% or 22%. So it was a pretty big drop. I'm fine with the role. I hope it stays around. I hope it's not just a couple of game thing until they call up someone. The games that might be tough for him, like that, are the games that they're going to tag someone. So they got Collingwood post bye. They're probably going to tag Dacos. I'm not expecting a great score from him there. North, I don't know why he'd tag anyone at North. That's going to be an easy win for him at Adelaide. Could tag Merritt here, but it would be midfielder on midfielder tag, so I don't think it's too big an issue. The only thing is he might not score the best that game. GWS, I guess they could put him on Tom Green. I don't think you have to. Melbourne, who will definitely tag someone. Port, who'll definitely tag someone. Gold Coast, he could. But again, this at Adelaide, I don't think this is a game where it's that important. Brisbane, who'll probably go to Neil. Neil's attracts the most attention of any midfielder in the competition, I reckon. Then Sydney West Coast, I don't think he tags anyone. Maybe he tags like a Chad Warner or something if he's still going off that late into the year. But by then, maybe you've got a replacement for Ben Keys. Yeah, onto the bench. Matthew Johnson. I keep wanting to call him Michael Johnson. He's not. 96. He's really good. I just couldn't get him on field. I think if you had him and Wardlaw, you're happy that they both scored well, but you definitely had both on the bench. Don't lie. You definitely had Wardlaw on the bench. But yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Angwin played. I'm hoping he plays this week. I do need him to play this week for 18. If the team sheet comes out and he's not on it, then I'll have to make a trade. Otherwise, I'd like to really hold trades. I haven't got too many left. English, I went with the vice captain against Lycett, against Scott. Lycett, he got killed. He got destroyed by him. You'd think that this was a second gamer against Lycett. He had how many hitouts? 20, but in the beginning of the game, it started like 10-0 to Lycett's favour. It was insane. He looked terrible this game. So that should mean he'll go off against North. But I'm probably going to take Bont in that game if I go with the captaincy from there. Marshall, didn't catch really any of the Saints game. Or if I did, I've completely forgotten it. Yeah, that was the shitty game. I didn't watch it. Dunkley, I thought was really good. He was everywhere in terms of a midfielder. He kind of looked like what Neil used to be, which does make sense. He's a lot younger. He's closing on 700k. He's became that guy that everyone knew he was going to be. F1 by far. He's probably one of the most expensive players, if not the most expensive player in the game, isn't he? Sort by highest price. Yeah, he's the most expensive player in the game. We'll take that. Started him for cheap. He dropped down. Everyone's got him. Doesn't really matter. Taranto, since Kane Corn said that stupid one, he's not top 50 player. Absolutely stupid thing. He's gone off. I think he's got like 30 touches per game. He's scoring like a goal per game. So yeah, 30. Yeah, he's got a goal in each of these games. Yeah, he's that guy. Richmond fans, you've got a good player here. You just probably wish he wouldn't helicopter kick it out of a centre bounce every single time. And maybe just, grab the ball, take a step and find an open option. Rosie was good. The Port situation with points is so intriguing. So they're obviously a very good team. Everyone will tell you that they're a very good team. Butters and Rosie, yep, they're leading this team to finals contention. And then their scoring's not really that great. So 106 average for a team that's in second place and is dominating teams. It's really low, isn't it? Like, maybe it's just me. There are big games in here, but like 104, 98, 108, like that's, look at these games here. Like, they were dominating these, so I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Errol Goulden. What to do with this guy? What an absolute owl of a trade. Like, seriously. This should have been Zach Butters. You can go back to that week, and I had Zach Butters, and I reversed for Goulden. That's the season-ending trade there. Oh, please don't crash again. Please don't crash again. Just in case I did restart the recording. Just in case, because I don't want to lose it again. If there are like blocky sections in this, that's because that's exactly what I've done. I've cut it up. So in case it crashes, I don't lose everything. So I don't want to talk again. My throat's killing me. Cogs has been very disappointing, I reckon. I think he's done. Like, Supercoach career is done. Rip Bozo, never again. Maybe Josh Kelly next year, but apart from him, again, I sing the praises of never touch a GWS midfielder. They're all bad and they all ruin your team. Watch me start all three of these guys again next year. Whatever. 98 average is so not good. Like, it's crazy. With no Kelly as well, it just makes no sense. And then Hobbs put up a good score, which I did need. I need him to hit at least 80 for the break even. It was 78, but 80 because of, fair number. Ended up getting 105 because of the merit tag. Absolutely take it. Break even's down to 53, definitely hittable. The question is, when do I trade him? At the current time, it's looking like post round 15 is when he's getting traded. It's going to be him and Hobbs and Mitchell for like Libba and someone. Really looking for like a discounted midfield here. It's just stuff I've got to look into. And then Eddie Ford. Again, I love watching the kid. He's playing everywhere around the ground. He's playing wing, forward. I saw him going to the back line a little bit. Yeah, I love watching him. I think North really found a stud with him. So I like it. Keep playing him. Keep playing good. And as for him, what's his break even? It's in the 50s, isn't it? Oh no, still super low. 8. I reckon he could hit a 60. And what does that put him up? 20k? Yeah, I reckon this is a good. You could probably keep him, honestly, and just have him as your loop. If you don't want to get like a 5 for a Himmelberg or a Keys, something like that. Why not? Like, if he's going to hit 300k, then why not just keep him and trade him out maybe the last week if you're playing for leagues. But I think that's it for the review. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be making trades this week. If I did, I mean, like, if I go optimize, this does it the easiest. Just do that because I don't like seeing Constable on field. Sharp isn't actually playing. I know he's not going to play. This is crazy. Why would they do that? And I think the forward line's. You know what? I'll just do that. So I can definitely trade this around to make it actually look like the finished team. Can't I? Can I unoptimize? Do that and how have you ended up here? Whatever. Okay, so just counting the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if he plays. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's very dangerous to be sitting on 18. Maybe Sharp can work a game back in, but very, 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 very likely not going to happen. I think Angwin's played fine for GWS. He's kind of playing like a wing and a bit of forward and stuff like that. I think he'll keep his spot. He just won't score overly great, I should say. But yeah, that's about it for this week. I'm not too sure if I'm going to make any trades. If I do, it would probably be like it would be like one trade, and it would. What's the Geelong guy's name? O'Sheen Mullen. Otherwise, yeah, I'd just hold trades. But as for you guys, I'd probably recommend just find a way to field 18, because this looks like hell for me. Like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Somehow I have to find 3 players to trade in. And most of these guys are keepers, so I can't really trade them on. We'll see. I'll probably work something out. But yeah, until next week, see you all next time. Tasty out.